wake up each morning brimming with excitement, overjoyed to begin a new day? Does your work satisfy and fulfill you? Are your relationships healthy and supportive? Does your lifestyle support your dream version of you? And finally, are you happy? Join Mea Voce, mystic warrior and energy goddess, as she takes you on a journey through the amazing world of energy. Harness the infinite powers of the universe and allow your real light to shine through. Anything can be yours. You only just have to believe.
Hello. Welcome. This is Mea Voce, speaking to you live from the big island of Hawaii, and I am your host and guide to the power of 5, found here on OMTimes Radio. So how are we all doing? My goodness. I swear every week we begin with saying it's been a big week, but this was certainly a big week, and it took me a little bit of diving in and thinking what really was going on. Again, from an energetic standpoint, everything we talk here and about is in the realm of energy. So first off, welcome, and thank you so much. From my heart to your heart, we are all one, and it's beautiful to have this space and share this space with you yet again. I have to tell you, it is a beautiful day here in Hawaii. The sun is shining. It's a little bit on the chilly side here up in Volcano. It's maybe about 55. I know that's below my comfort zone. I know it's not really that cool, but the sun is shining, and it is just an amazingly gorgeous day. The birds are singing, so I am joining you with gratitude in my heart and hoping that that energy finds you as well, because, my goodness, what a magical energy, isn't it? So let's talk about last week's energy, because there's just some crazy stuff going on. Now, we started off the week in a more of a normal energy way. It was Aries Moon. We're still in that Aries energy, and I am an Aries warrior, so was loving the beginning of the week. Just empowered sense of energy. Of course, Aries is all about action. So I was getting stuff done, ticking stuff off boxes, and was a good start to the week. And then Wednesday happened. Although the moon shift from Aries to Taurus, that's not what it was about. You know, that shouldn't have been this gigantic shift that happened. And from Wednesday to about Friday, there was just some crazy stuff going on. And if you're with me in this space long enough, you will hear the wacky adventures of Mea, because there is just crazy stuff that goes around my world. I mean, I've had books thrown off shelves. I was making dumplings once, loved to make dumplings, and turned my back and one flew across the room. Like, it's just some crazy things that go on. And, you know, as always, I sit and I watch and observe and I go, all right, well, what is this? Maybe someone just needs to connect, because that's really what it's all about. Whatever level we are, whatever plane of existence, we all just really need to connect. So this week, there was just some crazy stuff going on. So let me share with you, after much reflection, what I was coming up with. So I'm going to give you an analogy right now. So imagine that the universe is just one big piece of paper, and you're going to turn that paper on the side, right? And you just see like a little thin line. So, you know, that's us. That's the world. That's this plane of reality. That is our universe. So we're all just marching forward, doing our thing last week, Monday, Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. Wednesday happened. And when I connected to that energy, connected psychically to it, what I was being shown was like this giant thumbprint pushed down onto our universal piece of paper and created this little hole, this little dip. And so what was happening was all of us, as we were marching through our days, kind of fell into this dip. Now, let's pause for a moment and think about this. You have this dip in energy. You have all of these soul light bodies that are together in it. Think about ping pong balls. They're going crazy, jumping off of each other and banking off each other. Things are moving. Things are shifting. Things are shaking. A lot of that. That was the energy for the end of last week, Wednesday through about Friday. It began to shift after the weekend, and I could breathe again and finally connect and go, my goodness, what was going on? But again, for anything that we talk about energetically, there's a reason. And so I was saying it's shaking and moving and bouncing around, and that is the purpose. You know, we spoke last week about sitting in this void energy, which we are still well in. We're still in this void energy. If you weren't with me last week, just a quick recap. Void energy is, as you can guess, it is the void. It is the unknown. It is uncertainty. It's a lot of sticky energy. It's a lot of uncomfortable energy. But yet, in this void energy, there's also this infinite potential. So that's where we're in now. We're in this unraveling, this unfolding. I've been writing a lot about that on my blog. On mea5voce.com. If you like to read instead of listen, please join me there because I love to write. So we've been talking about that unraveling, this time it's the unfolding. And this energy that's shaking things up, that's exactly what it's doing. It's shaking things up still, bumping into these old precepts, these old constructs, the things that are old and need to go. This old energy that just doesn't belong here anymore. But we never energetically jump from point A to point B. There's always this blending. When we were gliding into the age of Aquarius, firmly into that age, it didn't just begin. We weren't just there. It was the beginning of the ending, the beginning and ending, just merging together, and it takes some time. It takes some time until there's a clear separation between the two. So that's where we are now, again, in this void energy. And the universal energy is saying, yep, gotta go. It's so shaking us all up. But there's some other interesting things that happened last week. And of course, I'd love to always hear how this energy affects you. Jump onto my Facebook, again, at Mea5Voce, and just share how it's affecting you, because it affects everyone just a little bit differently, doesn't it? The purpose is the same, though. That's the same for all of us, is to shake things up and to get old things that need to go, get them unstuck and out of here. But you're going to feel all a little different. So, love to hear it. Just love to hear different experiences with energy. But the other thing happening this week, and has been happening for me and for other people, because I've had many conversations about this, is we're beginning to shift in consciousness. Well, not beginning. We're in this stage of beginning. I said it again. So it must be, that word must belong right now. So the beginning of the shift of consciousness, it's everything is shifting before us. So the other thing to keep in mind is that time, and also our sense of who we are, is shifting. So I've had some interesting things with time, not just on Wednesday, but the past couple months, is that I'll come into my house, I'll look at the clock, and all of a sudden it's not, let's say 9 o'clock, for example, it's now 12 o'clock on my clock. And this has happened many times. My bedroom clock will jump 3 hours. The clock on my stove jumps 3 hours. And it's a very strange feeling, because I go, no, 2 seconds ago it was just 9. Now all of a sudden it's 10. But what's actually happening is even the fabric of time and our construct of time is shifting. And we're not going to go there today because that's another topic. But of course, time is an illusion. It's all happening now, which is why it's oh so important to be in this now moment, because that's when you fully experience life. I used to run a workshop about the energetic expression of anxiety and depression. And anxiety is just focusing on that future, because the future truly doesn't exist. It's just a made up thing in our minds. The past is past. And you can go there and say, did it even happen? But we're not going to go there today. That again opens up a huge can of worms. But it's just energetic weight. Let's put it that way. Something you can hold on to. So when you're not focusing on those two states of mind, you're in the present moment, and that's the real moment. That's the real moment. So we're going to leave that one there, because like I said, that's a whole nother topic, and we can sit here comfortably for hours on end discussing that. But today we're going to talk about kindness. There's this organism that I have created. It is called the Be Kind Revolution, and you can find information at bekindrevolution.life. And it is a new way of thinking. Let's get this kindness and compassion out into the world by focusing attention on ourselves. So we're going to talk about that later in the show. Also at the bottom of the hour, I thought since all the kids are home, let's just get a couple moments dedicated to kids. So my daughter, Magda, has come up with her own little mini segment called Fun Facts for Kids, Fun Facts with Magda. So she'll be sharing that at the bottom of the hour. She loves to come up with all these interesting things that I know nothing about. So it'd be fun to get your kids and say, come here, have a listen to that, because they might get into it as well, and they're welcome to send in their fun facts and share them on our Facebook. They might have some fun things of their own that you don't know about this crazy world we live in. So that'll be coming up in a little bit. But back to this energy. So we have this big concave moment in the fabric of time. Everything is shifting. Even our concept, our idea, our concept of time is shifting, right? Our consciousness is shifting. So where do we go next? Well, that's not where we're going to go today, because that's not where we're at now. We're in this void, like I said, and we're going to focus on this. But as we are unraveling, there is this potential. And this image came into my mind this morning of a weaver. Maybe because here in Hawaii, there's lots of beautiful weavers who weave banana leaves into wonderful things, into hats, and just do amazing things with just leaves, which is not my gift in this life, but I love to admire them and watch what they're doing. So this image came into my mind of a weaver with all these little strands of some sort of material, all different colors sitting before her. And to the untrained eye, I was going to say, we're looking at that pile of strands and you say, well, that just looks like a mess. It doesn't look like anything, right? But if you're a master weaver looking at those threads on the ground, you see something. There's potential there. And the threads start to come together into a pattern, right? Even if it's in your mind at first. And the weaver will get into that meditative state. And I've spoken to many master weavers, and they express that they're in that deep place of meditation. For them, that is that state of connecting to all that is. So they're looking at those pieces of just, to me, would be disorganization, maybe to you as well, but then that disorganization begins to ravel into something, and you begin to see this coherent shape begin to take form. So this analogy came to my mind today because that's exactly where we are. We're on this threshold, right, of this void energy, this sticky energy. We're almost kind of getting used to this new way of living, and I don't want to put out there this new norm, as everyone has been saying, because this is not the new norm. This is the void. So let's be very clear. This might seem like we're getting, we might be getting used to these new things out there, but even that will shift and change. And I tell my 10-year-old daughter, if you don't like the energy today, just wait, because it will shift. That's what energy does. It's not it's anything but stagnant. So it will move forward. So we're in this void energy, but there is that sense of potential. And we spoke about that last week, is that let's begin to shift our own thinking from this heavier energies, and we're just going to lump them all like that, heavier energies, to this place of potential, because potential leads almost to excitement, doesn't it? That's a higher vibration, infinite possibilities, expansion. If you ever want to shift your energy quickly, just expand your energy. Think about something expansive. Think about the ocean. Think about the mountains, whatever resonates with you. I love the ocean, but I can only be there for so long. I have no water in my chart. I think one little drop. I am a fire girl all the way with lots of earth. So put me in the forest, put me out where I am now. There's lots of trees and nature, and I can just connect to that sense of expansion. What you're doing when you actually are visualizing that in your mind is you're actually expanding your own energy field, and you should be able to feel the difference. And in weeks to come, if that makes no sense to you, come back to this space, because we'll be doing a lot of practical energy work. It's really time that we all connect to our energy field, because that's where it's at. The stuff we see around us is all beautiful, but it's not really there. All right, we're going to talk about that a little bit more in this hour that we have together. It's not really there. It's energy, the one thing that's infallible in this life. The one thing, perhaps the one very thing that you can control is your energy field. So lots of talk about that here, and we're going to get practical, really, really practical, because this is, and again, you're talking to an Aries woman, this is all about action and putting the esoteric into bringing it down to earth, and actually using these new tips, using these new skills. And since we're all sitting home at this time, we're all in this big cave, what a beautiful time to practice a new skill, I thought. So we'll be talking about lots and lots of energy. So in just a little bit, we're going to be talking about the Be Kind Revolution, shining the light of kindness and compassion into your heart. And this is a revolution in thinking. I've named it that because, well, one, because it came through me. Sitting in circle with Aboriginal elders for 9 years in Australia, the one of many things that I can share with you and to bring home was that their view of healing is that we're just a hollow bone. I love this expression. I'm a hollow bone, and the healing energy light just simply comes through me to you. And I love that. I love that thought. Of course, that got me off tangent. Why did I bring that up? But that popped in my head right now. Yes, it was shining the light of kindness and compassion into our own hearts. And this is a revolution in thinking because we have become the society that points fingers outside, aren't we? And we're going to talk about this more in a little bit. But everything is outside. The life we've created, the society we've created, it's all just out there. You know, we have money, we have houses, we have all this stuff. We don't really turn that attention inward. That's not something that, you know, when we start kindergarten, we're taught to connect to our feelings, connect to our energy field. Let me be specific there. Let's connect to our energy field. It's not something that happens generally. It does in my house. If you're sitting in workshops with me, or what we'll be doing is launching a lot of online stuff, I guess now, right? We'll be talking about energy online. That is relevant, but it's not something that you're gonna find out there generally. But it is so important. So that's woven into the fabric of the Be Kind revolution, is that we're turning that attention that's been so outward focused, and we now bring it in. And again, since we're all sitting home, this is a perfect time to really cave and really spend some time with yourself. Spend some time in meditation. If you don't have a meditation practice, my goodness, and I know there's another lovely presenter who does a show on meditation. I would encourage you to listen to her show. It is the skill for the new age. And I know many of you have a practice already, or at least tell me that you do. But it is time to get into that practice on a daily basis in nature, if we all can. So I'm going to take a pause right here. When we come back, we're going to dive into Be Kind Revolution, shining the light of kindness within.
Bringing a more conscious lifestyle to your world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
It is time to celebrate self-discovery and personal growth. But you know, your efforts have to be consistent in order to stay balanced and to overcome depression and fears. So, what new books are available? How do you stay centered? Elizabeth Joyce and her guests will help you find out. That's Elizabeth Joyce on Let's Find Out, Mondays at 6 p.m. on OMTimes Radio.
A social distancing tip.
Putting distance between yourself and others is critical to slowing the spread of coronavirus. So here are ways to stay in contact without the physical contact part. Call, send a text, set up a video conference, post on social media, dedicate a song on the radio. If you have symptoms of fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider before going to their office. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hello again, this is Mea Voce coming to you live from the big island of Hawaii. I am your host and guide to the Power of Five, found here on OMTimes Radio. So we've been talking about, well, big stuff. It's always big stuff, it seems. But that's exactly what's going on around us, some big stuff. But we've been talking about the unraveling, really, this unfolding of constructs of society, almost of humanity. And I offered you a beautiful illusion. I thought it was very, very clever. It popped into my mind this morning about a weaver who has all of these threads in front of her. And it might look like disorganization, but, something begins to form in her mind, and it begins to take shape, and it begins to take a shape that is real, in front of her. So right now, all of us have this just awesome opportunity to put threads into this new fabric of society that we're creating, right? So we do have a choice of what we're creating together, because our energy will be creating this collectively. So the fact is that we do have a choice with everything we do. Every moment of every day, we have a choice. And as I said to you earlier, the one thing in life we control is our energy field. That you have infinite control over. So you can choose in the morning, you can choose happy, you can choose gratitude, or you can choose to be in some lower based energies. And as I had mentioned, in the weeks to come, we're going to be doing some practical steps, because I know that's not common knowledge to just everybody out there, because it's not something we learn in school traditionally, unless you're me that's fascinated with it and spend hours and hours and years studying all you can. But usually that's not something we're picking up. So we're going to talk about that more and practical steps. But now we're weaving these threads into our society. So we have a choice. So why don't we choose a thread of kindness? Why don't we choose the thread that says compassion? And let's weave those into this new fabric. And not just, off in the corner somewhere, some decoration. Let's really root down and weave those into the foundation. Let's make this commitment to bring kindness, compassion out into the world. And how do we do that? Because you say, well, I'm only one person, and there's a whole world out there, and there's lots of crazy things going on. Okay, you are one person, you're one energy body. What did I say earlier? You can control your own energy field. So why not shine that light of kindness and compassion onto yourself? And this is the foundation of the Be Kind Revolution. You can find more information at bekindrevolution.life. Ooh, I made my own mistake. bekindrevolution.life. That we shine this light onto ourselves. When I birthed the Be Kind Revolution was last year after my partner's death. I was sitting in a place of grief, and I was sitting around bodies that were not exactly so warm and touchy and compassionate. I was dealing with police, I was dealing with coroners, I was dealing with lawyers. I cannot think of 3 groups of people that I would never want to work with again together in that arena. It was very challenging. And I had lots of time to reflect on kindness and compassion, especially for those in the grieving space. And it's another topic we will jump on in weeks to come. Because when you're in that grieving space, you are really in a bubble of your own. And so kindness and compassion take on a whole new meaning. So I had lots of time to really reflect on that. And I said, I'm not seeing or feeling a lot of kindness and compassion in my world. It certainly did not revolve around the crossing of my partner. This is something we really could use more in the world. And this was last year. And I just kind of sat and, there's some other practical things I needed to go to. And then this year, when everything has been shifting and changing, I have felt with my own heart calling that, my goodness, this is now. We need this now. We need to really focus on and birth these elements into society. Kindness, compassion, which of course leads to loving ourselves, because a loving heart is where kindness, compassion take root. Fear cannot take root in a heart where there is, let's go backwards. Fear can only take root in a heart where there is not love, kindness, or compassion. It's the opposite, because fear rather takes over everything, doesn't it? So we want to focus on those elements. We want to focus on those elements and bring them into this new fabric. If we're sitting here in this time of potential, in this time of gestation, imagine again the baby birthing. A mother who's newly pregnant, the outside world might not know anything. I know when I was pregnant, I don't think I started to show to like 5 months. It was just a little mini bump, my families would say. But I knew within me there was changes. So the universe knows there's lots of changes going on right now. So that's the mission of the Be Kind Revolution, as we think about consciously weaving these threads into this new place of society. So I'm going to just hold right there. I've got lots more to talk about kindness and compassion and how we can make this inward journey and some practical steps. But it's time to have some fun with kids. So just a quick segment. We're going to have fun facts for kids. So if your kids are around, come on. I know I was boring them to death, to tears later. Bring them on over. We're going to have a little fun fact for them. So I introduce you to my daughter, Magda. Oh, my goodness. I misspoke your name. That is such a cardinal, horrible thing for a mother. So would you like to say hello?
Hello.
Okay. Can you get a little closer? All right. So Magda has come up with our idea that she's going to share some fun facts with everyone. So what's our topic today, Magda?
Sand.
Can you come closer so everyone can hear? So sand. So sand, that's a really interesting topic, I think. I'm very excited about it. Are you excited about sand?
Yeah.
Are your kids excited about sand? Well, here comes a fun fact. So come on, share your fun fact.
Do you know what sand is made out of?
No. I thought I knew what sand was made out of, but I think you're going to tell me something that tells me I'm incorrect, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me your fun fact. Tell everyone your fun fact.
Well, parrotfish are these fish that have beaks like parrots. That's why they're called parrotfish. They eat coral and they crush it up and then they poop it out in this fine white powder, which is sand.
Is that really what happens? Parrotfish.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Mm-hmm. I had no idea. Really? That's very, very interesting. And is that all sand?
Just white sand.
Just white. Well, okay, that makes sense because here on the Big Island we have lots of black sand. And what would black sand be?
Crushed up lava.
Yes, which is very beautiful, but apparently does not come from a parrotfish, right? No, it comes from volcanoes here. So that's very interesting. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to share for the kids that are listening? No. I think we had an activity this week that Magda had wanted to share with everyone. You might not be aware that you can make your own Play-Doh, and maybe you've done lots of this already because I'm sure everyone is Googling things. But Magda just wanted to share a quick little thing about homemade Play-Doh.
Mm-hmm.
You need to share more than that, my love.
Well,
so what did we do?
We made Play-Doh, and here's the recipe that we use. Mm-hmm. It is half a cup flour, salt, and water.
Okay. All right. And so we were saying when Magda and I were talking about this yesterday, we can pop that recipe up on Facebook. Again, I'm sure loads of you are making homemade Play-Doh, but we did have fun with it this weekend, right? And then we turned it into an Instagram post, didn't we? Because you did something for Mommy. Mm-hmm. What did you do?
Be kind thing?
Yes. We made a sign that said be kind out of Play-Doh and took some fun photos of that and posted them on our Instagram, which again is Mea Voce, if you'd like to have a look. So awesome. Thank you so much for that fun fact. Magda will be back next week, and we were thinking if your kids want to do their own fun facts and share them with us, Magda would be happy to read that on air next week and in weeks to come. Just pop that up on our Facebook. All right. So thank you, Magda. All right. She's going outside to play because that's what kids do. Homeschooling later. All right. So thank you for that, for the fun facts for kids. Let's get back to Be Kind Revolution. So we did talk about kindness, Magda and I, because this is the other, another layer. I don't even know if you can call it that, but children need to know what kindness and compassion are. And we're in this very just interesting space right now, this time of transition, this void energy. The kids are all home. So what better time to talk about, being kind to yourself? Because I know there's a lot of unhappy little kids out there as well. They're sad they're not with their friends. They're sad they can't do what they'd like to do. There's a lot of just emotion. Let's put it that way. There's a lot of emotion out there. So this is a skill that we just don't do so well. Kind of like the skill of change. And we spoke about last week, and I have been speaking about how for years because I'm just mystified how we, as a people, we live in this world that changes literally every second is different. Every 2 snowflakes are not the same. Every 2 moments are not the same. Even if they seem the same, they're not. But we don't do change. We do it very poorly. In fact, we don't like it. We don't want to go there. And here we are in this massive period of change. And of course, my whole life's work has become change and helping people use the power within change, because there is awesome, infinite power within these moments of change. And it is all about our perception, right? That's what energy is. It's got two sides. And you can flip the side you want. With every moment, you have a choice. You can choose higher vibration. You can choose lower vibration. Now, let me tell you this, because there's no judgment here, because there's value to both. We can't fully experience the light and those higher vibrations until we've sat in that dark. And we've done the work in that space. Have to have both sides of the coin here. We have to have both elements. So there's, again, no judgment. If we wake up in a day and we say, you know what, I am just in this heavy place, I'm going to honor that place, and I'm just going to be in this space all day. That's wonderful. That's a life experience. But what we humans tend to do is the next day or later on, we bring shame into the element. We say, oh, I shouldn't have been in that space. I should have been able to, I don't know, make myself so happy in an instance, or I should have got some stuff done. Should have, could have, would have. Oh, that's a recipe for disaster right there, in that train of thought. It's okay to be in a space that's heavy. It's okay. There is value to it. There is value of trudging through the underworld and being in those sticky moments, because it helps us appreciate the light so much more. It helps us understand from an energy standpoint what it feels to be light. And next week's show, we're going to be talking about gratitude, not just as an amazing place to be, but as what it actually feels like. And this is what I wonder when we talk about certain emotions. How do you know what that word means unless you actually experience it? So we're going to talk about the energy of gratitude and maybe do a few exercises to get you in that space, or at least leave you with some so you can practice during the week. If you have been with me ever, I love to give out homework. I've been a university professor and teacher at heart. Love homework. So there's always going to be some little task for you to, do if you'd like to do during the week, or at least something to think about. Oh my goodness, my head just went blank for something, because I went back to my university years, I think, teaching rhetoric in writing, and how I used to love that. But that was a million and zillion years ago. And here we're talking about energy. So I guess that is my cue to go back to the kindness revolution. And it is all about this journey within. And that is, again, the revolution in thinking in the kindness revolution, in the be kind revolution, is where taking our focus away from outside, where it's been for eons. This whole life for sure, your many lives, again, for sure. It's just for eons. We've been pushing further and further out our focus, on material things, on things we need to obtain. Society is all based on outside stuff. And I'm not even going to go there today about this new god money. This has been an article, book in the writing in my mind forever, how we've just given our power away to money. And money is an energy source. It is just that, period. It's an energy source. We can give it, we give it power. We've given it all our power, period. So that we, now I'm going there a little bit. I'm going to stop myself, because again, that's get me on my soapbox about this. Lots to talk about. But we've given all of our power away. And so now is the time to reclaim that power. Now is the time. This is the time as the fabric of society is unraveling around us, and we see those threads that we can weave into a new space and a new reality. Let's choose carefully. Let's not do what has been done and doesn't work anymore. Let's now weave those fabrics of kindness, like we said, compassion, nurture, care, respect. These are 5 things that I have been preaching about, I feel like, for quite some time, because I feel very passionate about them. Let's weave them back into the forefront of society. And we can do that if we do our inner work. So remember, maybe you've heard the expression as above, as below. Well, I like the expression as within, as without, because we are our own energy universe right here. So if we want to see something different outside, if we want to see some changes, we need to change what's within. It's a lot of W's to get out there. We need to change what's within. Got it. And how do you do that? That's the next question. It's either very simple or very complicated, depending on your perception of things. We complicate everything as humans. We overcomplicate everything. So I'd like to boil it down to its simplest. Simply dive into your heart space. Dive into your heart space and you see what's there. Is a lot of heaviness there that you need to let go? Have you been living on these old constructs, these old conditioned patterns that really don't fit anymore and they just need to shift? All right, well, let's do that now. Let's take them out. Taking something out and showing it to someone else when it's all sparkly and gold and beautiful and saying, look at this, it's great. Yes, that's wonderful. But a more courageous person is that person who takes that awful, crumped up, dusty piece of blech from that heart space and says, look at this. This is mine too. And I love it just as much. Love it just as much. That is a person that lives in balance. That is a person that understands harmony. And that is a person who loves themselves. So it is my wish, my desire, my passion for everyone to be in that space. Am I in that space? I can't even, it's a journey. This life is a journey, but at least my intention is to get there. So I'd like to turn you all around and say, stop looking outside for just a moment. Again, stop pointing fingers. We don't like life as it is. So we blame this person, that person, this thing, whatever it is, but we're always pointing out. Take that hand that's pointing out and now turn it around and turn it into your heart space and say, I am responsible for this. I am responsible for this. I'm responsible for this. And maybe only this. This is what I'm responsible for. And let's begin to do this work. So again, the Be Kind Revolution, bekindrevolution.life. That is the focus, is that we change all of the focus. We turn all of that focus away. That's all outside and we bring it back home. Oh, I just got my goosebumps because that is such a key word to me. And what's going on right now is we rebuild the fabric of community. And I'm sure you've all heard, again, new lexicon. I'm a linguist at heart, so I always, picking up on these language, you hear it all the time now, is that we're all in this together. We're all in this together. We are rebuilding community. And it's evident by that phrase, or at least it is to me. So we're taking this journey back home. We're entering this new phase. It is a phase, if you ask me, and I'm going to share, of a return to simplicity. We overcomplicate everything. We bury ourselves in stuff. It's time to unburden ourselves, and it's time to really come home. That's the phrase that hits me over and over, that comes to me, and I'm sharing with you. It's time to come home. So I think right now, have a moment. When we come back, we're going to be talking about more of the Be Kind Revolution and some practical tips to help you get on in your week. So I'll be back in a moment.
Your conscious connection to a more mindful world. OMTimes Radio, IOM FM. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me The Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
Melissa from Michigan. I work an extra part-time job serving lunch at my child's school, but I still can't afford to put food on our table.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
And it's Mea Voce, your host and guide to the Power of Five, found here on OMTimes Radio. And thank you again for joining me in this space, this sacred space. We've been talking about a lot of stuff, a lot of big stuff, a lot of big shifts in the universe. Where we are today, where we're going, it's all different, isn't it? Moment by moment. So I've been sharing with you that we've been rewriting, in this time, rewriting our society, rewriting the fabric of our humanity. This is such a big stuff. It's the beginning of a beginning in the evolution of humans. So why not co-create this beautiful new fabric, this beautiful new environment where kindness, compassion, where love for self rule. Let's get this kindness party started. So the Be Kind Revolution, which again you can find at bekindrevolution.life, is all about shining that light of kindness and compassion within. We're really hard on ourselves sometimes, and especially, my goodness, now it's such an unsettling time, and big buttons are being pushed, big buttons. Security is being threatened. Our sense of community is being challenged. And we will get through this, and we will get through it together. We are in this amazing place right now. I know sitting here in this exact moment might not feel amazing, because change doesn't always feel amazing. It doesn't. And that is one of the challenges of change, is to reach into that period of change and to find something comfortable within that discomfort, to find something that you can grab onto and say, okay, it's change, and I will go through this and come back, get out onto the other side a new person. That is the process of transformation. And like any birthing process, it's not fun. It's not always fun. Not always fun. It's not always an easy thing, and it's not without some pain. And just some challenges, right? But that is really why we're here, isn't it? Is to go through those moments of change and transformation, because that's how we evolve. So again, we're all sitting, still today in this void energy, but with infinite potential, So maybe take the image of the weaver out into your world, throughout the week. And when you get very challenged, always take a breath. Always honor where you are in that moment. If your body is telling you right now, I just need to have some solitude, I need to have some space, explain that to the kids. My daughter and I have had lots of conversations about boundaries, and it's just the two of us in this little house with some beautiful furry companions. But still, between the two of us, talking about boundaries. This is a wonderful opportunity to do that, because you need to respect yourself. We can't keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And that is the other message, that I'm feeling from all that's going on right now, is that we've all had these, very busy worlds, very busy lives. I've heard that word so many times when I try to pull women into meditation groups and many circles I've led. I'm too busy. And I if you can feel my frustration mounting. Okay. Busy is a state of mind. Busy is something we can create, and it's something we can uncreate. Let me just put it out there. So anyway, we've all been leading these very busy lives, very full lives. I'm going to use that word. And now all of a sudden it's just shifted. And I know there's some mothers who are keeping that fullness, within their day, and everything is very structured. And then there's maybe the other spectrum, like I'm on the other spectrum, although very organized, and still tend to say, okay, well, we're just going to go with this. Because that's what we have today. So we're going to honor where it is today. But there's moments that I need some silence. There's moments when you will need silence. And we need to learn to honor and respect our bodies where we are in that moment, and know that it's all okay. It's all okay. I'm going to say it one more time, right? It's all okay. If you start to feel bits of emotion come up because you're honoring yourself, whatever that might be, if it's shame, if it's just some heaviness, some kind of resistance, we say. If there's some kind of resistance you have to taking a moment to simply be, then you need to sit with that resistance. All right, because there's something there that needs to shift. That resistance is energy, and I'm going to say 9 times out of 10, it comes from old constructs with old conditioning, old patterning. So it's energy that can shift. And energy, the beautiful thing, there's many beautiful things about energy, but one of them is that it can shift very quickly. It can very swiftly. Energy likes to be acknowledged. So if we can acknowledge it and we say, oh, I know what this is. I've gone in, I've sat in meditation, this has come up, we've acknowledged it. Sometimes that's enough to shift energy just by acknowledging it. So in these days that we have here, and again, I know everybody's situation is different, bodies in the house and where we find ourselves. But please, take some time for yourself, even if it's 5 minutes. Lock the door to the bathroom. It's the trick of mothers when their kids are little. Lock yourself in the bathroom for just those 5 minutes and breathe. Conscious breathing, even 3 conscious breaths can change your brain waves and bring you to a state of more relaxation. So simple techniques that I can share with you that do work and will help you to ground and center and to get back into that heart space. Because if we're going to create this world that is built on kindness and compassion and shining that light again specifically into our own heart spaces, then we need to start today. I am an advocate. I'm an Aries. It's about today. We don't know what tomorrow will bring. Did we know this was going to happen, a couple months ago? Think back just a couple months ago how different your life was. Think again how different it will be in a couple months. But let's co-create together, right? You are in control of the reality that you create. So let's create something that rubric of kindness, compassion, of self-love is up there, not just pushed aside somewhere and saying that's a nice thing, I'll get to that tomorrow. No, now is that tomorrow. Now is that tomorrow. Now is the time to grab onto that and say, yes, Mea's right. It's time to really honor myself and to connect with my heart space, because that is what this energy is all about, this age of Aquarius. It's about getting out of our head and into our heart space. And I know many of you have made that journey already. For many of you, you're saying, I don't understand that journey. And that's okay too, right? We're all in different places. But if you have the time, those couple moments, sink into your heart space. So here's a thought. So we've been talking about the Be Kind Revolution. So what we've created on the Be Kind Revolution is we're asking everyone to just make a commitment. That's it. Because energetically, when you vocalize something, when you write something down, and even when you think it, remember that thoughts are energy. Don't think because, there's a lot of things in there. Don't think because you're thinking something silently that it does nothing. All right. And I'm going to quick tangent is one of the main a very important thing I share in my women's groups is if you want to lower the quickest way to lower your energy is to talk negatively about another human. And that includes your thoughts. And everyone goes, our thoughts, because we think when we're behind closed doors, and we're in our own space and our thoughts and we're sharing with our partner or just going over the day in our heads, that's harmless. And, or it has no consequence. Let's say it has no reaction. And I am here to tell you differently because those are energy. Those thoughts are energy and you're sending it out there in the world. So it really is a retooling. It's a retraining of our own minds, of our thoughts to always be in that positive space. You do harm to your own energy field by speaking or thinking negatively of other beings. So do yourself a favor. Start with that practice. Just catch yourself if you're, thinking things that are not of a high vibration. Stop yourself instantly. No shame, blame, judgment, nothing of that sort. It's just a relearning. And you say, okay, I caught myself. That wasn't the place I want to go. I'm going to go to this other direction. And you stick to a higher vibration. That's something you can work on now. That's something you can work on this week. And you will see, here's the beauty of that, is that you retrain your thinking from lower to higher vibration so that you feel better. It's just as simple as that. Again, we overcomplicate everything, but you just feel better. How do you feel better? You feel lighter. you feel lighter because you're more in alignment with your soul purpose, with the all that is, with source energy. You're in alignment with that energy because that is the space of love. So yes, let's go back. The Be Kind Revolution. What we're asking is everyone just make that commitment. So if you hop on the website, there's a place that says Become a Kindness Crusader. And so what I'd really like to do, and all of us at the Be Kind Revolution, is we'd like to just spark this light of kindness worldwide. And we're going to do that one person at a time. Yes, so starting with you. Hop on the website, take a look at the Kindness Crusaders. And again, it's just printing out a pledge. And that pledge says, I commit to be a kinder and more compassionate person. There's a couple lines in there, and then there's some space for you to add your own commitments. What would you like to see as we get through this void and create together this new society? What would you like to see? Anything is possible. Anything is possible. You just have to believe it. You just have to believe. And when I say that, I mean energetically, you have to be in alignment with your thoughts. It's not enough to say to yourself, I'm a superstar, or whatever it is. I'm a very confident person. If you're not feeling that energetically, if that energy is not in alignment with your thoughts, then you could be saying it till, you're blue in the face. And that's another workshop I've done before, is choosing a mantra that you actually need, not just choosing it with your head, but choosing it from what your energy is telling you. Another day, my lovelies. Another day. I've also opened up, I have my personal Facebook. So again, if you have comments about energy, about what we're talking about here, or you're totally confused and would like me to elaborate, please pop on. I'm happy to share some thoughts and can pop on Skype too and have a conversation. I, like all of you, am home this day and am missing connection, missing my groups. So would love to connect with someone. So lots of ways to connect these days, of course, but we have opened up a group Facebook for Be Kind Revolution, because I'd love to just to begin this community of kindness around the world. And I mean it, around the world. Let's really spread this. We can do this. We can create this world of kindness, compassion. We can create a whole society of human beings that love themselves. It's not just a fantasy fairy tale. We can do it. But again, you have to believe that you can, and you've got to take that first little step. And maybe that first little step today is becoming a kindness crusader. Maybe it's just going out and doing something nice for someone else. Lots of opportunities for volunteering I've seen, and lots of people stepping up. But let's do something. And if you are in need of help, not feeling the lightest and brightest these days, hop on too. I'm happy to talk to you. And we'll be opening up my own Skype channel for like some time for free. Just hop on, right? And let's talk, because everyone should have a chance to get into that lighter space, because these are some challenging times for sure. These are unusual times. I'm going to say that, very unusual times. But we all can get through this together. And like I said, at some point, if you don't like the energy today, just wait, because it will shift and change. That's the purpose of energy. So, my lovelies, goodness, we've talked about lots today, and we even had some quick fun facts for kids. I hope that was very interesting. Magda shared about sand, but trying to keep her busy as well, and so that was her task for the week, is to find out something interesting about this world we lived in. And I've never heard what she had said, but she heard it on an actual show. So I'm going to go on that it's truth, but please don't quote me about the parrotfish. But it is very interesting. But if your little ones, they need something to feel purposeful as well, you can research your own fun facts and please share them, because we're happy to read them on air and read their names on air and how old they are, and I'm sure they'll get a little kick out of that. So next week, we will be talking about the energy of gratitude, and how not just it just feels amazing to truly sit in a place of energetic gratitude, but it is a doorway to manifestation. And I pause there, because it's not just, I can be grateful and then everything comes to me. No, that's not how it is. It's you actually opening an energy portal to all that is, and you are aligning yourself energetically to all that is, to source energy. So it is the infinite sort of connection. And I had this wonderful experience a couple weeks back, which gave me inspiration to share this with all of you. that it is the closest we can come on this earth plane to realigning to our cosmic home, to that cosmic oneness, that consciousness. It's the closest we can come. I was sitting in that space and just tears coming, rolling down my cheeks, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful moment. So I'm hoping I can relive that and share that with all of you. Because what a beautiful energy to sit in. And again, when we're in that alignment, magic happens. It's all about harmony. It's all about balance. We need to bring all of us back into that state of balance. So as you go about your weeks this week, remember to breathe. Remember to be kind to yourself. Is the most important message I can leave you with today is remember to be kind and compassionate to yourself. This is not a time for judgment. Certainly not a time to be hard on yourself. Anything goes in that sense. If you're feeling down, take care of yourselves. If you need to just take a breath outside, go do it. Don't question it. Throw the schedules out the door. Maybe if you can. I know lots of kids, but if you can, just be in the moment. It's the way to get through the void, is to just allow and to just be. And one day, day by day, breath by breath, we will see that we've come through on the other side and clarity begins to come through again. So my lovelies, it has been so wonderful to share this space with you. From my heart to your heart, we are all one. And remember, be kind, be compassionate, and above all, be you. Many blessings for a beautiful week. Bye-bye.